very good morning and welcome to the news this week on Spiritz TV. I am Shalini Kumar with the latest updates from the world of alcoholic beverages and hospitality. Finally, India and Australia inked a much speculated deal which will give much needed boost to the high-end Australian wines to find their market in India. The India-Australia Economic Cooperation and Trade Agreement was signed in the presence of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison. According to the trade agreement, the tariff on premium wines from Australia will be reduced from 150% to 100%. This would then be reduced further to 50% over 10 years. Import duty for a more expensive level of premium wines from Australia, which are valued at least $15 will be reduced from 150% to just 75%. Over the course of 10 years, these ultra premium wines would then attract a tariff of just 25%. Under the deal, India removed tariffs on more than 85% of Australian goods exports to India, worth 12.6 billion Australian dollar, which will increase to almost 91% of Australian goods over the next 10 years. Leading global beer producers Carlsberg and Heineken have announced that it will pull out of Russia entirely amid the invasion of Ukraine. As per the media report, Heineken will continue to pay its 1,800 staff in Russia through the end of this year. The company said it will not profit from the sale of its Russian operations and expects to take a 400 million euro charge as a result. Earlier in March, the Carlsberg Group decided that it would no longer produce or sell its main Carlsberg brand in Russia. But after a strategic review of its presence in the country, the decision was made to sell the Russian business completely. Here are some policy-related updates from various states. Under its new excise policy for the financial year 2022-23, the Kerala government gave permission for beer pubs in IT parks following requests from the industry and employees organizations to this effect. Apart from a series of provisions, the Kerala government allowed the opening up of new breweries for the production of low content alcohol from cashew, pineapple and tapioca under the new excise policy, and more retail liquor outlets with better facilities and the introduction of more low alcohol brands in the state at a specific distance away from residential areas. The Delhi government's excise department has allowed private shops to offer up to 25% discount on the maximum retail price of liquor. The state government had stopped the discounting spree by retailers in the state on the ground that huge crowds at retails are causing law and order problems and their licenses have no provisions for such huge discounts. A group of retailers had challenged this order before the Delhi High Court. The hearing of this petition is going on. The permission to offer discounts has its impact on Gurugram as well. The price war will begin again between Delhi and Gurugram after a brief halt. Now liquor retailers in Gurugram are left with no option but to cut prices too to match up the pricing in Delhi. To take the competition head on and also conceding to consumers' demand, Gurugram liquor retailers seem ready to keep profit margins to a minimum. Imported liquor will be cheaper in Odisha as the state government has reduced the excise duty by 15 to 20% in its new excise policy for the financial year 2022-23. Following the reduction of excise duty, the retail price of different brands of foreign-made liquor and wine will also come down in Odisha by 10 to 15%. However, excise duty for IMFL and beer has been kept unchanged in the coastal state. Additionally, microbrewery policy has been redesigned. A separate license fee slab of 5 lakh rupees per annum for standalone microbreweries is mandated. Under the new excise policy, fees for temporary bar licenses have been reduced. The Bihar Legislative Assembly has introduced and passed Liquor Prohibition Amendment Bill that seeks to make liquor prohibition less stringent in the state for first-time offenders. Under the amended provisions, the first-time offenders will get bail from the duty magistrate after depositing a fine. However, if the person fails to pay it, he or she is liable to face a 1-month jail term. As per the approved amendment bill, movable and immovable assets of arrested liquor traders would be confiscated, while frequent liquor drinkers would be fined as well as imprisoned. Vehicles used for the liquor trade would also be confiscated and will be later auctioned. The Jharkhand government is likely to take over the wholesale and retail sale of liquor to push its revenue collection. Recently, the Jharkhand cabinet has approved 4 major amendments in its excise policy related to rules of wholesale and retail sale of liquor and other related cases. As per the reports, now in place of 75 warehouses, there will be only 5 warehouses in 5 divisions of the state, which will be under the control of Jharkhand State Beverage Corporation Limited and operated by a private agency. The number of retail liquor shops in Jharkhand will be increased to 1,500 from the current 750 and will operate under the State Beverage Corporation. The Maharashtra government has partially rolled back the previous hike in license fees for liquor vendors. In January, the Maharashtra government had increased the license fees by an average of 15%, which had led to protest by industry bodies. Now, a permit room in Mumbai or cities with a population of over 20 lakh will have to pay a marginally lower fee of 7.45 lakh rupees, while the wine shops will pay 12.69 lakh rupees. The license fee for liquor retailers are based on the population of the city, village or town that they operate in. The Punjab Cabinet has extended the tenure of its ongoing excise policy for 3 months of the new financial year. The extended tenure is from 1st April to 30th June 2022. As per the provisions of the applicable excise policy for the next 3 months, existing licensees will be operational for those who will give 1.75% excess revenue over the last financial year's minimum guaranteed revenue for their respective group or zone. This step is introduced in order to maintain stability in the liquor trade. The Punjab government's Finance, Excise and Taxation Minister Harpal Singh Cheema has directed officials to study excise policies of other states, including the Aam Aadmi Party ruled Delhi, before framing the excise policy of Punjab. The Punjab government plans to roll out its new excise policy in June, when the annual budget would also be presented. In a reprieve to the Indian Hotels and Restaurant Association, Hotel and Restaurant Association of Western India and 7 other associations, the Supreme Court has stayed the imposition of 9 lakh rupees as cost on them by the Bombay High Court and granted interim relief against a 15% hike in foreign liquor license fee for 2021-22. Hotel bodies had approached the Supreme Court to challenge the Bombay High Court's ruling, which had also imposed 1 lakh rupees cost each on the 9 associations to be paid to the Chief Minister Relief Fund. After finding their challenge sans merit and arguments bordering on outrageous. Here are some stories of new developments and new launches. climate crisis forced French wine growers to light candles to protect wines from late frost and another agricultural catastrophe. They are lighting candles to thaw their grapevines as a late frost off the back of a long warm spell threatens fruit crops across Western Europe. Wine growers are worried the frost will kill off large numbers of early buds which appeared in March as temperatures rose above 20 degrees and disrupt the whole growing season. The frost is particularly frustrating after a similar phenomena hit French vineyards last year, leading to some 2 billion euros losses. While some vintners used candles, others tried to warm the vines with electrical lines or sprayed the buds with water. Assam budget of 2022-23 has proposed to allow conversion of the existing IMFL on licenses to IMFL off licenses in the rural areas of Assam in a limited manner with a conversion fee. The International Spirits and Wines Association of India has welcomed this reform of the Assam government. Chief Executive Officer of the International Spirits and Wines Association of India, Neeta Kapoor, has said that this step will improve accessibility, which in turn will make alcohol products in rural Assam more affordable. Diageo India owned United Spirits Limited has informed in a regulatory filing that it has further extended the deadline to complete the strategic review of its certain liquor brands till 31st May 2022. Diageo India had earlier set the deadline of 31st March 2022 to complete the review process. Earlier, United Spirits Limited had said the strategic review was expected to be completed by the end of the calendar year 2021. Campari Group owned Wild Turkey has unveiled a new bottle design for its flagship Wild Turkey 101 Bourbon. The new design features an embossed turkey placed centrally on the bottle, a similar paper front label to display more of the liquid inside, a thicker base with a sharp edge detail, and a refined bottle's neck with a base curve inspired by the neck of its namesake fowl. Subsequently, the new design will roll out across the full Wild Turkey range in the coming months. Bacardi has launched a new line of Trails pre-batched cocktails and has made them available in the off-trade. This is the first time this new range of premium batched cocktails from Tales brand will be available for consumers to enjoy at home. The brand was originally created for the hospitality industry to offering a hassle-free solution for serving premium quality cocktails easily, quickly and consistently. The Tales new retail cocktail range includes 5 variants: a rum daiquiri made with Bacardi rum, a whiskey sour that includes Dewar's blended Scotch whiskey, a gin gimlet using Bombay Sapphire as the base, and an espresso martini and passion fruit martini, which are both made with 42 below vodka. Tales new cocktail range is available in limited markets at retail price of $19.70 per 500 ml bottle. The iconic gin brand Gordon's has launched 2 new fruity flavor expressions named Morello Cherry and Tropical Passion Fruit. Gordon's Morello Cherry distilled gin brings together tart cherries with the brand's London Dry spirit. It is ideally served in a riff on the classic gin and tonic. Gordon's Tropical Passion Fruit distilled gin was designed to balance the juniper notes of the brand's flagship gin with passion fruit flavors. Both flavor expressions are bottled at 37.5% ABV and are priced at 16.50 pounds per 700 ml bottle. With this, I wrap up this week's news roundup. I will be back next week with more stories. Till then, stay safe and say cheers with care.